You're standing in the pet food aisle, overwhelmed by a wall of brightly colored bags, all promising perfect nutrition for your new dog. And you're thinking, how on earth am I supposed to know which one is actually good? I'm Stephen Whitlow, and I've spent over 20 years training dogs and watching this exact moment play out hundreds of times with new owners. You're listening to Total Pet Parent Podcast. Quick note before we get started, everything you're about to hear, the research, the data, the recommendations, that's all put together and verified by real people with real expertise. The voice delivering it happens to be AI generated, but the information itself is fully human created and fact-checked. Just wanted to be upfront about that. If you're a regular listener, thanks for coming back. And if you're new here, glad you found us. We drop new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, covering practical advice for dog owners at every stage. Let's dive into today's episode. Here's what really matters. The right food sets your dog up for health, energy, and successful training from day one. Whether you've got an 8-week-old puppy or a 3-year-old rescue, this guide breaks down the top choices that actually deliver on nutrition and quality. Now, let's talk about Hill's Science Diet Puppy Large Breed Chicken Meal Recipe and Oats. Check the link below to see the current price. This formula is specifically designed for puppies that weigh over 50 pounds at maturity, with controlled calcium levels between 0.7 and 1.2% to support proper bone development without accelerating growth too quickly. It includes DHA from fish oil for brain and eye development, plus high-quality protein from chicken meal as the first ingredient. This belongs on the list because large breed puppies have very different nutritional needs than small breeds. I've worked with dozens of Great Dane and German Shepherd owners who made the mistake of feeding regular puppy food, only to deal with joint issues later. The specific calcium to phosphorus ratio here, 1.12 to 1, helps prevent developmental orthopedic disease, which is a fancy way of saying it protects growing bones and joints during that critical first year. The kibble size is larger than standard puppy food, which encourages slower eating and better digestion. The formula meets AAFCO dog food standards for growth and reproduction, verified through feeding trials rather than just nutrient profiles. One complaint, the chicken meal can cause softer stools in some puppies during the first week of transition, so you'll want to follow a gradual transition schedule when switching from whatever the breeder or shelter was feeding. Moving on to Purina Pro Plan Savor Adult Shredded Blend Chicken and Rice Formula. Check the link below to see the current price. This combines crunchy kibble with tender shredded pieces, which most dogs find irresistible. I've used this trick to get picky eaters interested in their bowls. Real chicken is the #1 ingredient, delivering 26% protein and 16% fat for sustained energy in adult dogs. This makes the list because it's one of the most reliable choices for newly adopted adult dogs with unknown dietary histories. When you bring home a rescue or adult dog, you often don't know what they've been eating or what sensitivities they might have. Chicken and rice is about as gentle and universally tolerated as it gets, and the dual texture format helps transition dogs who are eating lower quality food at the shelter. The formula includes guaranteed live probiotics that survive the manufacturing process, a detail that matters more than most people realize, supporting digestive health during the stressful first 30 days in a new home. The shredded pieces can get stuck in some automatic feeders with narrow dispensing mechanisms, which is worth noting if you're planning to use one. Next up is Wellness Core Grain-Free Puppy Deboned Chicken, Chicken Meal, and Turkey Recipe. Check the link below to see the current price. This delivers 36% protein and 16% fat, making it one of the higher protein puppy formulas available without crossing into performance-level nutrition. It uses DHA from salmon oil and flaxseed for cognitive development, with added taurine for heart health. This belongs here because some puppies genuinely need grain-free nutrition due to sensitivities or allergies.
I've worked with several Labrador and Golden Retriever puppies who developed itchy skin and ear infections on grain-inclusive foods, and switching to a formula like this cleared everything up within 3 weeks. The deboned chicken as the first ingredient means you're getting real muscle meat, not byproducts. The formula includes probiotics and prebiotics from dried chicory root to support the developing gut microbiome, which is especially important for puppies between 8 and 16 weeks when their immune systems are still maturing. It meets AAFCO standards for all life stages, though it's specifically designed for growth. One frustration is the kibble is quite small, which is great for tiny puppies, but means medium and large breed puppies often gulp it down without chewing, which can lead to gulping air and mild stomach upset. Let's talk about Blue Buffalo Life Protection Formula, adult chicken and brown rice recipe. Check the link below to see the current price. This features deboned chicken, chicken meal, and whole grains with added life source bits, those dark kibble pieces that contain a blend of antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals selected by veterinarians and animal nutritionists. It provides 24% protein and 14% fat, which is moderate and appropriate for most adult dogs. This makes the cut because it's a solid middle ground option for newly adopted adult dogs when you're figuring out their activity level and specific needs. When I'm working with first-time dog owners, this is often what I recommend for the first few months while they learn their dog's personality, energy level, and any food sensitivities. It's not too rich, not too lean, just balanced nutrition while you're getting to know each other. The formula includes real meat as the first ingredient and no chicken byproduct meals, which matters for protein quality. The brown rice provides easily digestible carbohydrates without common allergens like corn or wheat. The life source bits are harder than the regular kibble, and I've had several clients report their dogs pick around them initially, which defeats the purpose of the added nutrition.
Now, Diamond Naturals Small Breed Adult Chicken and Rice Formula. Check the link below to see the current price. This is specifically sized for dogs under 25 pounds, with smaller kibble pieces, about 6 to 8 millimeters, that fit comfortably in tiny mouths. It delivers 27% protein and 17% fat, higher than most adult formulas because small breeds have faster metabolisms and burn energy more quickly. This belongs on the list because small breed adults have completely different caloric needs than larger dogs. I've seen too many Chihuahua and Yorkie owners feed them large breed food and wonder why their dogs gain weight or refuse to eat. Small dogs need nutrient-dense food in smaller portions, and this formula delivers exactly that. The omega fatty acids support skin and coat health, which is especially important for breeds with longer or silkier coats. The formula includes proprietary probiotics, canine strains specifically, that survive the cooking process and support digestive health. It also contains added superfoods like blueberries, oranges, and spinach, which provide natural antioxidants during the critical growth phase. One issue, the kibble, while small, is quite hard, which can be tough for senior small breed dogs or those with dental issues to crunch through comfortably. Moving to Taste of the Wild High Prairie Puppy Formula. Check the link below to see the current price. This uses buffalo and bison as novel protein sources, along with roasted venison, providing 28% protein and 17% fat. It includes DHA from salmon for brain development and uses sweet potatoes and peas as grain-free carbohydrate sources. This makes the list for puppies with suspected protein sensitivities or when you want to avoid the most common allergens from day one. I've worked with several breeding programs that start puppies on novel protein sources to reduce the likelihood of developing allergies to chicken or beef, the two most common culprits. If you're bringing home a puppy with unknown parentage or breed mix, starting with less common proteins can be a smart preventive strategy. The formula includes a proprietary probiotic blend, canine strain probiotics, plus dried chicory root for prebiotic fiber.
It also contains real fruits and vegetables like tomatoes, blueberries, and raspberries, which provide natural antioxidants during the critical growth phase. The richness of this formula, 17% fat, can be too much for puppies with sensitive stomachs, causing loose stools until they adjust. You'll definitely want to transition gradually. Next is Royal Canin Size Health Nutrition Medium Puppy Dry Dog Food. Check the link below to see the current price. This is designed for puppies that will weigh 23 to 55 pounds at maturity, with a precise nutrient profile tailored to medium breed growth rates. It provides an exclusive complex of antioxidants, including vitamin E, to support developing immune systems during the vulnerable 2 to 12-month period. This belongs here because Royal Canin does something most brands don't. They actually research breed-specific and size-specific nutrition. Their medium puppy formula accounts for the fact that these dogs grow at a different rate than small or large breeds, with appropriately balanced calcium at 1.07% and phosphorus at 0.89%. I recommend this frequently for mixed breed puppies when you're pretty sure they'll fall in that medium weight range but aren't certain of the exact breed mix. The kibble has a unique shape designed specifically for medium breed puppy jaws and teeth, making it easier to pick up and chew. The formula includes highly digestible proteins, LIP proteins selected for their digestibility above 90%, and prebiotics to support healthy digestion. The ingredient list leads with chicken byproduct meal rather than whole chicken, which bothers some owners even though byproduct meal is nutritionally complete. It's just not as appealing on paper. Let's talk about Merrick grain-free puppy recipe, deboned chicken and sweet potato. Check the link below to see the current price. This delivers 32% protein and 12% fat with a blend of 15 vibrant superfoods, including coconut, chia, kale, and blueberries. It includes DHA for brain development, plus guaranteed levels of glucosamine and chondroitin, 600 milligrams per kilogram and 100 milligrams per kilogram, respectively, for joint support. This makes the cut because it's one of the few grain-free puppy formulas that balances high protein with moderate fat. I've seen puppies thrive on high-protein diets, especially working breed puppies that need the extra amino acids for muscle development. The moderate fat content at 12% means you're less likely to deal with digestive upset or excess weight gain, which can happen with richer formulas during rapid growth phases. The sweet potato provides complex carbohydrates and fiber without grains, and the formula includes a long list of whole foods like apples, blueberries, and peas that provide natural vitamins and minerals. Made in the USA using proteins and produce sourced in America, which matters to some owners. The kibble has an irregular shape that some puppies find harder to pick up than uniformly shaped pieces, leading to messier eating and more cleanup around the bowl. Now, Nutro Ultra Dog Food. Check the link below to see the current price. This uses a trio of proteins, chicken, lamb, and salmon, providing varied amino acid profiles and making it less likely that your dog develops a sensitivity to any single protein source. It delivers 26% protein and 15% fat, with a blend of 15 vibrant superfoods, including coconut, chia, kale, and blueberries. This belongs on the list because variety matters more than most people realize, especially for newly adopted adult dogs. When you're starting fresh with a new dog, you want to build a foundation that keeps options open. By rotating 3 protein sources in one food, you reduce the chance of developing protein-specific allergies down the road. I've recommended this formula dozens of times for adult rescues where we're establishing a nutritional baseline before choosing the right long-term food based on activity level and individual needs. The formula includes natural sources of omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids for skin and coat health, which really shows in rescue dogs who come from less than ideal conditions. You'll often see coat improvement within 4 to 6 weeks. The superfoods make for good marketing, but they're present in such small quantities that their actual nutritional contribution is minimal compared to the main protein and grain sources. Don't expect miracle results from the chia or coconut specifically. Finally, Origin Original Grain-Free Dry Dog Food. Check the link below to see the current price. This is the premium option on this list, with 38% protein and 18% fat from fresh chicken, turkey, eggs, wild-caught fish, and ranch-raised beef and pork. The first 5 ingredients are all fresh or raw animal proteins, and the formula is biologically appropriate, meaning it mimics what dogs would eat in the wild. This makes the list for owners who want to invest in top-tier nutrition from day one and have an active dog that can handle rich food. I've worked with several working dog handlers and serious sport dog competitors who won't feed anything else, and I'll admit the results speak for themselves. Incredible coat quality, sustained energy, and lean muscle development. For newly adopted adult dogs that will be doing regular hiking, running, or training work, this provides the nutrition density to support that activity level. The formula includes fresh whole eggs, whole fish, and organ meats, delivering nutrients in their most bioavailable forms. It's made in Canada using regionally sourced ingredients with no grain, potato, or tapioca fillers. This is expensive, significantly more per pound than most other options, and the richness can cause digestive upset in less active dogs or those used to lower protein foods. You'll need a very slow transition period, sometimes 2 to 3 weeks instead of the standard week. Now, how we made our picks. I drew on 20 years of hands-on experience working with dogs of all sizes, breeds, and activity levels to compile this list. Every formula here has been fed to dogs I've trained or whose owners I've advised, which means I've seen the real-world results, everything from coat quality changes to energy level shifts to how well puppies focus during training sessions after eating. I prioritized foods that meet or exceed AAFCO nutritional standards, verified through feeding trials when possible. Protein quality matters more than protein percentage, so I looked for named meat sources like chicken, beef, or salmon, rather than generic meat meal or byproducts as primary ingredients. For puppy formulas, I specifically evaluated calcium and phosphorus ratios, DHA content for cognitive development, and appropriate caloric density for growth without excessive weight gain. For adult formulas, I looked for balanced macronutrients that support maintenance rather than growth or performance, unless specifically noted. I also considered practical factors like kibble size appropriateness for different breed sizes, digestibility based on ingredient quality, and how well each food supports the stressful transition period when bringing home a new dog. Real-world usability matters as much as the nutrient panel. Let's cover some frequently asked questions. What should I feed my new puppy in the first week home? Feed your new puppy whatever food the breeder or shelter was using for at least the first 3 to 5 days to avoid adding digestive stress during an already stressful transition period. Once your puppy has settled in and is eating normally, you can gradually transition to your preferred food by mixing increasing amounts with the original food over 7 to 10 days. This approach prevents diarrhea and upset stomach that can complicate the critical early bonding period. How do I know if my adult rescue dog needs puppy food or adult food? If your rescue dog is under 12 months old or under 18 to 24 months for large and giant breeds, feed puppy food to support continued growth and development. Most shelters and rescues can estimate age based on teeth condition and physical development, and they'll usually tell you whether to use puppy or adult formula. When in doubt, your first vet visit should include a discussion about life stage and appropriate nutrition. Vets can assess growth plate closure and other physical markers to determine if your dog is still growing. Should I choose grain-free or grain-inclusive food for my new dog? Choose grain-inclusive food unless your dog has a diagnosed grain allergy or sensitivity, which is actually quite rare despite popular belief. Grain-free diets have been linked to dilated cardiomyopathy, or DCM, in some dogs, when they rely heavily on peas, lentils, and potatoes as carbohydrate sources. So, unless there's a specific medical reason to avoid grains, formulas with rice, oats, or barley are generally safer choices. Most dogs tolerate grains perfectly well, and whole grains provide beneficial fiber, vitamins, and minerals that support digestive health. Start with the feeding guidelines printed on your chosen dog food bag based on your dog's current weight, then adjust up or down based on body condition after 2 to 3 weeks. New dogs often eat less during the first week due to stress from the transition, which is normal during the 3-3-3 adjustment period, so don't panic if your dog seems disinterested in food initially. Monitor your dog's ribs. You should be able to feel them with light pressure but not see them prominently. Adjust portions to maintain a healthy weight as they settle into their new routine and activity level becomes clear. Here are my final thoughts. The best dog food for your new dog is the one that matches your specific dog's age, size, and activity level while fitting your budget for the long haul. I've seen too many owners start with premium food they can't sustain, then switch to something cheaper a few months later, which just adds unnecessary stress through repeated transitions. Start with one of these solid options, give it a fair trial of at least 6 to 8 weeks, and watch how your dog responds. Good nutrition shows up in energy levels, coat quality, stool consistency, and even how well your dog focuses during training sessions. Trust what you see in your own dog more than marketing claims on the back. And remember, you can always adjust later as you learn what works best for your specific dog. That's completely normal and part of being a responsible owner who pays attention. That wraps up this episode of Total Pet Parent Podcast. Thanks for listening. We're back with new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so there's always something new coming your way. If you found this episode helpful, it'd mean a lot if you could leave us a 5-star rating and write a quick review. That's genuinely how other dog owners find the show when they're searching for answers. And hit subscribe or follow so you get notified the second a new episode goes live. Talk to you next time.